On that grim morning, the tranquility of Greenfield was shattered, and whispers filled the air as townsfolk speculated about the identity of the killer. Fear settled thickly over the community. The profound loss of a beloved educator stoked conversations that led to mistrust among neighbors. Who could do such a thing? One resident mused while sipping coffee at the local diner, its patrons now sharing more than just a meal. They were sharing their collective grief and disbelief. As detectives worked tirelessly to unravel the truth, the entire town held its breath, waiting for answers that might restore their sense of safety. As rumors circulated and theories took shape, the detectives delved deeper into Professor Davis's life. They interviewed his colleagues, uncovering layers of admiration intertwined with hints of tension. It seemed that his rigorous methods and zealous critique sometimes left students feeling inadequate, a sentiment that could stoke hidden resentments. Classmates recalled whispered complaints about his harsh grading and demanding nature, speculating if someone might have felt wronged enough to act on it. Yet, as names were discussed and stories shared, one constant emerged. No one could truly imagine any of their peers turning to violence, especially against someone so dedicated to mentoring young minds. Amidst the murmur of suspicion, a particular name surfaced: Marcus Reed. He had once stood out in Professor Davies' class, a star student whose brilliance was shadowed by personal demons. Conversations turned to Marcus's peculiar behavior. His passion for literature was matched only by the intensity of his struggles with mental health. "I remember the way he would fixate on certain topics," one classmate recalled, her brows furrowing in concern. "It was like he was always searching for something, but it was hard to tell what it was." As the detectives dug deeper, they unearthed the troubling history between Marcus and Professor Davies, a complex relationship molded by both reverence and disappointment. Detective James Anderson stood outside the small, dilapidated apartment where Marcus Reed had once lived, a sense of foreboding washing over him. As he reviewed Marcus's past, it began to paint a troubling portrait of a young man haunted by his mental state. Friends described Marcus as brilliant yet fragile, often oscillating between moments of clarity and unsettling paranoia. It became increasingly evident that his deep-seated admiration for Professor Davies had been entwined with a desperate longing for approval. Carol, a close friend of Marcus, provided a vital clue, recounting how he had often expressed a belief that only Professor Davies could unlock the potential hidden within him. He wouldn't stop talking about how the professor held the key to something he desperately needed to know, she recalled, her voice trembling slightly as she grappled with the ramifications of her friend's troubled psyche. Detailing their last interaction, she warned the detectives. He was agitated, convinced the professor was hiding answers that could change his life. This revelation marked a pivotal moment in the investigation, as the pieces started to coalesce, revealing the terrifying blend of inspiration and desperation that had driven Marcus to unspeakable actions. As the investigation continued, detectives scrutinized the evidence, laying out the notes as if they were pieces of a sinister puzzle. Each handwritten message hinted at a deeper connection between Marcus and Professor Davies, a thread woven tightly by admiration and anguish. What are these cryptic messages really trying to convey? Detective Anderson pondered aloud, frustration growing as the novel nature of the notes weighed heavily on him. The echoes of Marcus's tumultuous history loomed large over the case, a promise of brilliance twisted by the grip of delusion. Deciphering the mind that penned such words became paramount, as the detectives understood that unraveling this mystery could potentially illuminate the darkness surrounding not just the murder, but also the troubled soul of a once promising student. As days transformed into nights filled with investigation, the revelations led them one step closer to understanding the tragic intersection of genius and madness and their profound impact on life itself. As the detectives delved deeper, they discovered that Marcus had been obsessively researching Professor Davies' published works, frequently delving into articles that referenced concepts of truth and knowledge. Each note he sent seemed to echo a desperate search for validation, making it increasingly clear that the underlying motive was rooted in a twisted perception of their relationship. It was as if he believed there was an inherent connection between them, one that went beyond teacher and student, Detective Anderson mused, the weight of the investigation pressing down on him. The intricacies of mental health loomed large over every piece of evidence, forcing the team to confront the unsettling truth that sometimes admiration can spiral into something far darker if left unchecked. In a moment of despair, Marcus confronted the professor, his voice trembling with pent-up emotion as he accused, You've kept me in the dark long enough. Professor Davies, taken aback, attempted to reason with him, gently urging, Marcus, you need to understand. Knowledge doesn't come easy. It's a journey we all undertake. But the words fell on deaf ears, as Marcus's turmoil flared, culminating in a violent struggle that shattered the air with palpable tension. In that chaotic moment, the fine line between admiration and distress dissolved, marking the tragic transformation from misguided belief to irrevocable tragedy, forever intertwining their fates. As the community grappled with its painful loss, they began to reflect on the complexities of mental health, realizing that understanding was as crucial as justice. It was a haunting reminder that beneath the search for truth, the consequences of misunderstandings can spiral into chaos, leaving scars that the community would bear for years to come. This tragic story serves as a stark reminder of the profound impact mental health can have on lives, urging us to foster understanding and compassion over judgment. In a world where the lines between admiration and obsession can blur, it's essential we learn from this tragic event to seek help and prevent such tragedies in the future.